a new all-time low of 1,534 Naira to a dollar in the official Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange market on Monday. Well, this indicates a loss of 3.9% or 58 Naira from the 1,476 Naira per dollar last Friday. Monday's rate became the worst official exchange rate since the Central Bank of Nigeria floated the Naira in June 2023. Babajide, it's really worrying the level at which the Naira is going. Now we are having to see it going to 1,534. But let's have your thoughts on this depreciation and how do you think this could impact the already inflation that we're currently witnessing in the economy? How do you think this would, worsen this?
Well, it will worsen things because Nigerians are adjusting prices based on these Forex realities. People who have old stock of cement, old stock of consumables, including food items, once they hear that the Naira has further slid in the Forex market, in the foreign exchange market, they go to adjust prices. And so these adjustments are really not they are uncalled for. Some of the adjustments that we are seeing are uncalled for. Even items that have nothing, that are not imported, that do not relate to exchange rates in any way. You see people
jacking the
prices upwards. We have to find a way to control prices. If you want to rein in inflation, I think food inflation is the most brutal of all. Somebody was telling me that Dangote cement is now 7,000. I said, I'm not bothered. I'm not building a house. And there are many Nigerians who are not bothered. If you can sell the cement at 50,000 per bag, what Nigerians are concerned about the most is food. People are hungry. They are not going to eat Dangote cement. No, but rice, beans, millet, the things that they need to eat to survive. We've got to do something about their prices. We've got to do something. So the exchange rates has defied logic to me, because when I was reading now that commercial banks sold a total of 1.97 billion in 1 week. They sold dollars amounting to 1.97 billion. That's almost 2 billion. Yet it has not affected the rates. So who are the people who bought this thing? Where did they keep them? That's why yesterday, as we were trying to round up, I said, well, perhaps the people buying are people with the intention to sterilize the currency. Because what's going on? Almost 2 billion in a week, and there's no impact. In fact, it's still going up. Something must give. There are people who, in their wickedness, are still thinking that this thing will get to 2,000 to a dollar. Some are still buying the dollar at this time in the hope that it will still go up. Evil things must be going through the minds of many Nigerians. People with an unquenchable appetite for evil. They are still buying. So these banks are probably, as they are pushing this thing out to sell, maybe their colleagues, because the banks are culpable in the mess that we found ourselves. Banks that kept $5 billion. And the CBN governor had to say, you must sell. Why did they keep $5 billion? people need to ask them this question. What are you keeping $5 billion for? You are intermediaries, you are agents. It's not your place to stock dollars. You have to sell to people. There's nothing you do on your own that generates dollars. It's still from the CBN that you get it.
So what gives them that authority to keep dollars in such amount?
Nobody gave them. They just wanted to make money. They buy it and keep in the hope that, when the rate goes up rapidly, they can then sell. That is the thing. The same people who will take the dollar at the official window and hire abokis that they will give to. And when you go to them, they will not give you across the counter. They will point to an aboki somewhere, go and meet him. Silly things happen in our country. We need to address these things. Somebody was telling me of a governor who will never spend Naira.
Many of them.
If they go to him to say, we have issues, how much can you give us to help us solve the problem? He brings his briefcase, he's giving them dollars.
Yeah.
A governor, there are many of them
Many
like
of
that.
them, many.
People come to see them, they want to give them parting gifts and all that. They won't give them Naira, they give them dollar. So the rate at which we want this dollar, it's not, the CBN governor was talking about people who want to go to school, people want to, no, that's not enough. What was he saying? The Nigerian governors are mopping up dollars.
Yeah.
This is a fact.
Indeed. Olayinka.
Is anybody going to say that it's not true? I'm saying it now.
Absolutely.
And a good number of them watch me. They know I'm saying the truth.
How would you respond to this, Olayinka?
In fact, as a journalist, I'm even sitting on a horn of dilemma. Sometimes I wish that, is it possible that we blank out the dollar exchange rate and all that? But it's not possible because we are dealing with information. Because the moment some people sleep every night, they wake up the next morning to look at what is the rate of the Naira to the dollar. So people begin, and people who ordinarily, some years back, don't have an idea of what a dollar is. Pepper seller, fruit seller, they will tell you, dollar has risen again. So you ask yourself, what is responsible for this? The central bank, last week or so, when the governor said they should sell the dollar, the commercial bank, and I asked myself, so some of them still have this dollar and they were keeping it for what? Now, people who have genuine need for dollar are there. They are not getting it. And then why are you keeping it? For what? And then, as Babajide has said, you have some people who today, when you go to them, Naira is their mode of transaction. Why? As we have always said on this program, you cannot, let's even leave out the so-called advance, you cannot go to South Africa or go to Rwanda or any of those countries and want to spend dollar if you are not in, if you don't have your passport and all that.
Oh, you can't even spend, you spend it in the duty-free shop.
Exactly. So why is it that you have some hotels now,
go to jail.
People come there, even Nigerians, they have to pay in dollars. Has dollar become our means of exchange? No. So something has to be done. The central bank must put down its foot that, look, this thing that we are giving you, it is meant for so and so exchange. Why should I go to a bank? You want dollar, the teller will tell you we don't have it. Then the next thing, it will say, should I call Alaji this for you? And then they will call the Malam. The Malam will come and give you dollar that you should get in the bank. So there must be a way.
Of course, at a higher rate.
Of course, there must be a way we need to bring this down. Because in all honesty, every day I look at it and I say, where do we... Yes, government, banks, central bank and so on, they may have their own fault. But we as individuals too, we must curb our appetite for spending money that is not our own.
Point taken there. BKO, before I wrap up on this segment, speaking of ways of bringing this issue down, would you suggest that perhaps the cancellation of domiciliary account would be a way to go as being proffered or being suggested in different quarters? What are your thoughts?
I don't know those who are suggesting it because it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It makes no sense. The person who genuinely made this money, he needs to put his money in domiciliary account. From there, he can make genuine, valid transactions through the bank. You know what is in the bank. Whatever transaction you do can be tracked.
Yeah.
That's the first step towards transparency. There are some people who will never send money to you through the bank because they know that it will leave a trail.
Yes.
So they will tell you, they will give you cash. One of our very famous business analysts was telling me that somebody wanted to buy a house somewhere on the island for 10 billion. He was insisting on paying cash. That one has gone mad now.
It's completely.
He was insisting on paying cash.
How do you want to carry
10 billion cash? Of course, it is possible. Nigerians do it.
Yes.
I know somebody who bought a house in Abuja, somebody in government who bought it. I will not say how much he bought it because they will say I should go and bring him. What he did was that 80% of the money was in dollars. The remaining 20% he transferred.
So that you will not exactly.
But the bulk of the money he paid in dollars. People are stealing us blind. People in government, people that we trusted, that they will fight against corruption, they are stealing so much money and converting same to dollars. This is one big factor in the dollar illiquidity that we are going through. Because people have stolen so much money. This is a country where an individual can steal 100 billion.
Yeah.
The system permits someone to steal that much. And when he steals that much, he wants to secure it with a very reliable store of value. There is no currency that you can regard as a very reliable store of value like the dollar. It's the most popular currency across the world. And Nigeria already has that position high up there as one of the biggest importers of the dollar. We don't want to do transactions again. We steal money, we convert to dollar, and you are saying hunger for the dollar will not continue. Of course it will continue. People have suggested that to stop this slide, maybe government should take a loan from the IMF. Take this loan from the IMF and use the dollars to stop the slide. If you bring in that money,
Some people will steal it.
these people, they are still going to mop it up.
Exactly.
Now like you didn't bring any money. If we can do business, 1.97 billion.
So where do we go
and the
from
rate
here?
is still going up. We don't know. See, the CBN governor needs to tell us why you will push this much money
into
the forex market and there is no change. Instead, it's going up. Something is wrong. Then the banks, ideally, if it was China or even Malaysia, these banks,
many of the executives
who kept dollars amounting to 5 billion in their vaults. They are not the ones who work for this money. Remember that the CBN was giving them dollars every week. CBN said, we will no longer sell dollars to Bureau de Change operators. Under Emefiele, he started selling directly to his friends in the banks. Because he used to be one of them. He started selling directly to them. Instead of selling to people, they were warehousing
the money.
Some of them were converting even their dollar accounts. They were converting the Naira in their vaults. They were converting to dollar, hoping that when things degenerate and the Naira slice badly, they can then use their stock of dollars to make money, make so much profit. That is what they call positioning. in that banking lingo, positioning. That's what it's called. Sterilize. I'll tell you, this. I'm not surprised that this has happened. Some people are still going to mop up what is being sold. All this, the same people sell to themselves and their friends. They will mop it up and then sterilize it. You and I will now be saying, what's going on? How come the rate? It's a simple, basic demand and supply rule. That given what is being pumped in, it should even slide in at least.
Exactly.
But that's not what we are saying. No. What kind of economy is this?
Olayinka, what do you think we can do about the situation?
Well, the central bank has to rev up its monitoring abilities. I think that's just it. Because every step that is taken is sabotage. But there are people that are sabotaging this. And the central bank must be able to point them out. As he has said, if the central bank must have a record of how much is the dollar that each bank has,
yes,
they should be able to ask them, why did you have this much?
And then who bought?
Who bought what? Give me a record of all your customers who bought. Olayinka bought 1,000. What did they buy it for? And so on, something like that. If that is not done, you know, the reason why crime festers is because you don't catch the criminals, or you catch them, you don't punish them.
Let them go.
That is it. If they are punished, I'm sure no bank MD in the world of today will want his name mentioned in money laundering or in. So they will wake up and do the needful.
Or it will damage the bank as well.
Exactly. So the central bank has to wake up. Is monitoring
to take big decisions.
Exactly.
Big decisions.
Look, you must take decisions that will hurt people. That is it.
Are we not hurting as a people?
Exactly.
Are the poor people not hurting from this wickedness and the selfishness of some?
So you prefer that the poor men should be hurt, and then those who are your friends, who are these are the people that should pay more for this.
Right. Well said, gentlemen.